Hello. Before we start, John, I just want to tell you that my mom met you at an airline flight, and she said you were so nice to everyone on board, and so just praise to you on that. So she just wanted
Isn't
to say
that
that.
so nice? Well, give her my best. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's your mom's name?
Ligaya, Ligaya. So
Lataya.
yeah.
No,
So you know,
Lataya?
yeah,
You're,
Ligaya.
you've done very well with this wonderful son. Yeah. Much love to you.
Thank you so much. I've interviewed you both before, but John, years ago, I asked you what was it like your collaboration working with Hal Ashby, and you gave a really passionate response. And you've worked over the last several years a lot with Sean McNamara, and he's a favorite director of mine. What do you see in him as far as a craftsman and a storyteller that keeps you coming back to work with him again and again?
Yeah. Well, we've become friends over the time we've worked together. And he's he's many things. He's a tremendous energy. He's a loving energy, very positive energy. He keeps everything on the up. And when you're doing a film, you have one difficulty after another. It's just there are places where you say, well, we're falling apart here. Never in a Sean McNamara film do you ever feel that because you always feel that he can solve anything and he keeps you all smiling. Now, that energy is very key, but also is tremendously intelligent, got a great imagination, and he's the right person to be in command of the ship. So I've really had a great time working with Sean. And then when it came to this piece, I didn't want to do it initially. I was scared of it. I mean, this is a scary movie that I was scared of. And I said, I don't know if I can do this. So my producing partner, Stevens, put me together with Sean. He said, well, talk to Sean about it. And Sean, just the way Sean embraced this piece, and he puts it in a very personal, lovely way, you see, as I knew he would, but also he was so delighted to do this scary, disturbing stuff. And he showed me, I don't know, I was talking to him for 5 minutes. I said, I'm in. I'll do it, because he was so convincing. Insanity is contagious, that's what it is. But anyway, let's ask him about it. Let's ask him.
Well, Sean, you know what's not contagious? It is uncompromising movies, and I have a feeling with Dangerous Game, The Legacy Murders. Can you just talk about the uncompromising nature of the narrative, and was that one of the draws for you as far as getting behind the camera and directing this?
Well, definitely, it's uncompromising. I love, I do a lot of family films, as you know, and they're quite traditional. And so when I read this one, I was like really shocked that anybody would even show it to me. But I was like, this is really good. And we've all been in that situation where we're, with family members that we don't want to be with, but we do it out of respect. And so and sometimes there's words said to each other, but it never gets intense. Well, I wanted to say, let's just put this on steroids and make it much more intense. And then you get to work with John, and John, the patriarch of the family and a genius actor at the same time, is leading this entire cast of really great actors. But that's infectious when you're trying to just do great work together. And we all sat around like at the table read and discovered great little story points. And they watch John and they all grow and make the film better. So it's like coming at us from all different sides, the level of talent that just pours out onto the screen. And and then, to get somebody like Will Sasso, who's just a comedy guy, you wouldn't expect that in a horror film, but it was great to break the tension. And then John and Jonathan Rhys-Meyers just go at it. I mean, it's like father-son relationships, that there is like tension going on that's just extraordinary. And those guys, like when you were watching it on the set, it was so real and so good. And they're just, and it feels like it's real. And then, you'd say cut, and then they'd be just laughing and joking around. And I go, this is just two titans of talent, just giving it all they've got. And it was just fun to sit back and watch it out all happen.
Yeah, I mean, this would take forever to answer, and I apologize, John, but how do you make it real? Because whether it's a deception sequence in Mission Impossible, the final moments of, a runaway train or something like this, or especially this movie when you're going back and forth with family members, how do you keep it real and not, it doesn't feel like you're acting. It feels like you're in the moment.
Well, that makes me feel very good, because that's, of course, the point of it all, is to make it real, right? And part of it is real. really listening, and you're really addressing people, and you're really communicating with the other performers. But anyway, everything there are many books written about acting, and I've read a bunch of them, and they all give you something. But finally, it's just you do enough work so that when you come on the set, you are just that person, or you're responding as that person, and you're just listening and talking. So it's there's a technique to it, and it's hard earned, and but when you get there and this simple reality takes place, it's very exciting, and working with each of the people gives you a performance. You have to really listen. You're really watching and listening to the other performers all the time, and the very best actors really do listen very well. They're not just coming to give a line reading or this or that. They're really listening. So there's a real communication, and that's what makes it real, I think.
Sean, you feel like a filmmaker who never, I think I'm saying this as a compliment, that you don't seem to just wait and pat yourself on the back and wait a couple of years until your next project. You're just always on the go. And where does that work ethic come from? Because when you look at your resume, you have one of the most diverse careers as a filmmaker out there.
Okay, I love to direct. It's almost scary that I love going to the set and having that process and every part of it, when we're in preparation, finding locations and casting, and then rehearsing with the actors. And Jon is somebody who likes to rehearse, so that process where you don't have the pressure of the film yet, but you're inventing stuff. It is just fun. And then when you do get to the set and you have the most talented craftsmen around you, and you have these actors come together, and you're trying to make these little bits of the story as wonderful and exciting as you've ever done before. And then it's really hard work, and it's pressure for, a few months. And then you get into post-production, and I get to lay on a couch and watch it all cut together. And so that process, I just love going. Every time I get so excited. I would do this for free. I don't like to tell that to very many people, but I love the passion of getting to work with really talented people and getting to do it again and again. So I just don't like to stop. So knock on wood, I've been fortunate. So I just want to keep going.
My final question to both of you, and I apologize for putting you both on the spot very quickly. Can
I can't wait for this question now.
Okay.
Put us on the spot. Oh my God!
Just from both of your resumes, can you pick a movie that you feel that you want our listeners and viewers to watch, that you feel is maybe underrated as far as your body of work goes, and you have a personal connection to it? So,
okay. Do you want me to take it and you want wrap it up? Okay. I'll say, that's a nice question, by the way, because it gives people an insight into the person in another way. There's a movie that I did, was called John Paul II. It's a television movie. I received an Emmy nomination for the work, and very few people in the Emmy group saw it, or when we were at the Emmy show, they didn't know what was this, where did it come from? Because it's not a movie that would be popular in the Hollywood, group. But it's a movie that I think is very beautifully done, and has a lot to say. And I like my performance very much in that movie. It's called John Paul II. It's about the Pope, the Pope John Paul II, who's been made a saint. But anyway, it's interesting, and I play the Pope from the time he becomes Pope, and Carrie Elwes, very nice actor and friend, played the younger Pope.
Great. And you, Sean? Yeah.
That was a great movie, and I feel fortunate because I got to bring my mom to an audience with the Pope at the Vatican once, and it was John Paul II was walking down, and I got a picture of my mom and the Pope in the same shot. So I can see that's what an extraordinary thing just to be around. One of my films, I don't know. I like Spare Parts a lot, and I don't think a lot of people saw that, but it was anything that inspires people to do something. And life is hard, and we the key is to get knocked down but get back up again. And that's one of those movies where I feel the characters had some strong opposition to what they wanted to do, but they somehow got up every day, and it gives us that feeling of we can do anything if we if we just keep at it and keep trying. Showing up is 90% of it. I got to say, if you can just keep at it, you will eventually get better at what you want to do. You'll get your shot, but just never give up.
Thank you both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys for your time. Really love the film.
Oh, great. God bless.